The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Good morning, sports fans, and good morning, Missouri. This is Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy, coming to you from the Pizza Ranch studio and the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented, as always, by the Chevy dealers of the Ozarks, the Bank of Billings, Burgess and Associates, Doak Propane, Central Bank of the Ozarks, and Liuna Labor's Local 663. Building Missouri and building Missouri State, reminding us to drive safely in all work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Hope everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, a time to honor those men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice to their friends and family who mourn that loss of life, and we grieve with them. But also in doing so, we must also thank God that men and women like these lived. And I would like to tell you a story, quite literally a story, of a recipient of the Medal of Honor who has been missing nearly 73 years. And over this weekend, his remains came home to his final resting place. Soldiers of the 9th Infantry Regiment made a desperate retreat as North Korean troops closed in around them. A wounded 18-year-old Army PFC, Luther Herschel Story, feared his injuries would slow down his company, so he stayed behind to cover their withdrawal. Story's actions in the Korean War took place on September 1st, 1950. They would ensure that he was remembered. He was awarded the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest military honor, which is now displayed alongside his portrait at the National Infantry Museum, an hour's drive from his hometown of Americus, Georgia. The Story was never seen alive again after that, and his final resting place was long remained a mystery. That changed in April when the U.S. military revealed lab tests had matched DNA from Wade and her late mother to the bones of an identified American soldier recovered from Korea in October of 1950. The remains indeed did belong to Story. The case agent told his niece over the phone after nearly 73 years he was coming home. A Memorial Day burial with military honors took place Monday at the Andersonville National Cemetery. A police escort with flashing lights escorted Story's casket through the streets of nearby Americus on Wednesday after it arrived in Georgia. Then on Monday, residents lined the streets as the funeral procession drove by. Story grew up about 150 miles south of Atlanta in Sumter County, where his father was a sharecropper. As a young boy, Story, who had a keen sense of humor and liked baseball, joined his parents and older siblings in the fields to help harvest the cotton. The work was hard and it didn't pay much. The family eventually moved to Americus, the county's largest city, where Story's parents found better work. He enrolled in high school, but soon set his sights on joining the military in the years following World War II. In 1948, his mother agreed to sign papers allowing Story to enlist in the Army. She listed his birth date as July 20th, 1931. But Wade, his niece, later obtained a copy of her uncle's birth certificate that showed he was born in 1932, which would have made him just 16 years old when he joined. Story left school during his sophomore year, the summer of 1950. He deployed with Company A of the 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment to Korea around the time the war began. On September 1st, 1950, near the village of Aycock and Natkong River, Story's unit came under attack by 3 divisions of North Korean troops that moved to surround the Americans and cut off their escape. Story seized a machine gun and fired on enemy soldiers crossing the river, killing or wounding more than 100 men. According to his Medal of Honor citation, as his company commander ordered a retreat, Story rushed into a road and threw grenades into an approaching truck carrying North Korean troops and ammunition. Despite being wounded, he continued fighting. Realizing that his wounds would hamper his comrades, he refused to retire at the next position but remained to cover the company's withdrawal. Story's award citation said, when last seen, he was firing every weapon available and fighting off another hostile assault. Story was presumed dead. He would have been 18 years old, according to the birth certificate Wade obtained. In 1951, his father received Story's Medal of Honor at a Pentagon ceremony. Story was also posthumously promoted to corporal. After about a month after Story went missing in Korea, the U.S. military recovered the body in the area where he was last seen fighting. The unidentified remains were buried with other unknown service members in the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific in Hawaii. According to the Defense POWMIA accounting agency, there were more than 7,500 Americans who served in Korean War remain missing, or the remains have not been identified. That's roughly 20% of the nearly 37,000 U.S. service members who died in the Korean War. Remains of the unknown soldier recovered near ACOC were disinterred in 2021 as part of a broader military effort to determine the identities of several hundred Americans who died in the war. Eventually, scientists compared DNA from the bones with samples submitted by Wade and her mother before she died in 2017. They made a successful match. So on this weekend, Corporal Story was returned to his family and to his rest. God bless the USA. And now, page 2.
The qualities in a truck that are most important are reliability, just really great function.
Having a truck is pretty much a necessity to getting to most of these locations. Oftentimes it's narrow, steep, loose, rough, rocky roads.
Having a truck is essential to every part of what we do, from picking up material for the home to delivering the home.
Always carrying something, pulling something.
It's something that we use every single day here.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
Class 1 and 2 state baseball playoffs took place Monday in Ozark at Sky Bacon Field. Game 1 featured the Class 1 defending state champion St. Elizabeth taking on Cooter. St. Elizabeth defeated Liberal 6-4 in the quarterfinals, while Cooter outlasted Greenwood 14-3. Caleb Oligschlager got the start for St. Elizabeth and tossed a 3-hit shutout, and the Hornets improved to 22-7. Oligschlager, 5-0 on the season, will now face South Nottoway in the Class 1 championship. South Nottoway, who won 5-4 in the quarterfinals over Green City, was able to get a more comfortable outcome in the semifinals, scoring twice in the second, third, and fifth innings and single tallies in the sixth and seventh. While the pitching staff did not give up a run on the way to an 8-0 shutout. South Nottoway, now 20-2, will play for the state Class 1 state championship versus St. Elizabeth, whom they lost to a year ago in the semifinal game, 10-0. That game will be played today at 1 p.m. following the third place game between Community and Cooter. Class 2 baseball saw two teams with 24 win their 24th consecutive game in the semifinals. First, the Salisbury Panthers, who haven't lost since opening day on March the 20th versus Macon 8-1, and the Ash Grove Pirates, who have not lost in more than 365 days, dating back to May 17th of 2022 to Mooresville. Salisbury is now 24-1, and Ash Grove 24-0. Salisbury, in their semifinal game, they gave up 2 runs in the top of the first inning following a costly error. But pitcher Eli Weckenberg got out of it, snagging a comebacker behind his back for the third out in the top of the first. In the bottom of the first, Salisbury answered back with 3 runs. A 2 RBI single by Aiden West and then an error leading to a third run gave Salisbury a 3-2 lead heading into the second inning. For the rest of the game, every time Chaffee would threaten to take the lead, Salisbury had an answer. Chaffee cut the lead to 7-5 in the fifth, but Salisbury answered with a 4 spot in the sixth inning and an 11-5 win and a chance for the Class 2 title. But that's going to be a tall task. Their reward are the undefeated Ash Grove Pirates, who put together the most dominant game of the day. The Pirates are now 24-0, and every player on their team donning their newly bleached blonde dominated Mainsville, a program only 4 years old and making their first ever state tournament. It did not start well for Maysville. Brock Mooningham, the Pirates starter, had a good first inning. No hits and striking out 2. Then the Pirates sent 11 men to the plate in the bottom of the first, and 7 of those circled the bases and reached home. And then the 3 spot in the bottom of the second, and the rout was on. Mooningham threw a 5-inning complete game 1-hitter with 10 strikeouts, and catcher John Rollhouse was 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. But more importantly, the Ash Grove Pirates were the only team on the day not to commit an error. The Ash Grove Pirates will face Salisbury in the Class 2 state championship at 7 p.m. tonight at Sky Bacon Field in Ozark. Maysville and Chaffee will play for third at 4 p.m. And now, page 3.
Believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Enjoy a fresh start to your meal at Pizza Ranch, where the salad bar is always included with your buffet. Every day you'll find garden fresh greens, colorful veggies, and sides for every appetite. It's the most refreshing way to balance out a meal while leaving plenty of room for your other buffet favorites. Convenient, fast, and fresh. It's the Pizza Ranch Salad Bar. Mmm.
Page 3 state track and field championships took place over the weekend for the larger classes at Atkins Stadium in Jefferson City. Your team state champions are as follows. In girls class 3, Lutheran St. Charles. Notables in the class 3 girls, Eldon Jr. Zoe Martoffi won gold medal in the 800-meter run, the 1,600-meter run, the 300-meter hurdles, and finished third in the triple jump to score her team's 36 of her team's 37 points for her team to finish second. Your Class 4 champion is Kearney High School. The Parkway Central Junior Sky Lee won gold in the 100-meter dash, the 300-meter dash, the 100-meter hurdles, and the 300-meter hurdles, scoring 40 of Parkway Central's 48.5 points and a team finish of third place. Class 5 state champion Cardinal Ritter. Raytown South senior Zaya Akins won the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter dash, the 400-meter run to earn all 30 of her team's points, leading to an 8th place finish. Class 3 boys state champions are Bowling Green High School. Class 4 boys state champions, Festus. And the Class 5 boys state champions are Rockbridge High School. The Cardinals and Royals are playing each other in St. Louis, just a 2-day series, and then the Royals and Cardinals are off until Friday. Almost a mini all-star vacation, but yesterday went well for Kansas City, and the Birds on the bat are struggling. By the time the Cardinals offense got something going, it was too little too late as they fell 7-0 to the Royals in the first installment of this year's I-70 series. A Memorial Day matinee in front of an announced sellout crowd of 45,911 at Busch Stadium. Former Cardinals pitcher Mike Myers tossed 6 perfect innings to squash the Cardinals' offense, which finished today with just 2 hits. They were shut out for the 6th time this season, and a combined perfect game through 7 innings. Cardinal fans and some Royals fans in the stadium started to think the impossible might happen. The last no-hitter thrown against the Cardinals in St. Louis came on Friday, July the 20th, 1906, tossed by Mel Eason of the Brooklyn Superbas. Since 1920, the Cardinals have only been no-hit 5 times, and all were on the road. On May the 15th, 1960, by Don Cardwell of the Cubs at Wrigley. Then on September 17th, 1968, by Gaylord Perry of the San Francisco Giants at Candlestick Park. And on June 16th, 1978, by Tom Seaver in Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium. Tom Seaver threw 3 complete game one-hitters as a Met, but this was his first no-hitter. And on June 29, 1990, Fernando Valenzuela at Dodger Stadium, and most recently 11 years ago on almost to the day, on June 1st at Citi Field at the hands of Johan Santana of the Mets, which coincidentally was the Mets' first no-hitter. The Royals have thrown 4 no-hitters in their history. Steve Busby did it twice. And the first time was the first time in Major League history that a pitcher threw a no-hitter but never appeared in the batter's box as a hitter. Jim Coburn did it, and most recently, August 26, 1991, Brett Saberhagen threw a no-hitter versus the Chicago White Sox. The Cardinals, 24-32, entered the day having gone 3-4 on their recent 7-game road trip in Ohio with Cincinnati and Cleveland. They'll play 2 games with the cross-state interleague rivals, and then they'll have 2 days off before they begin their next 2-city road trip. As we head out today, now maybe not to school, maybe to the golf course, maybe you're on your way to work. Hey, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. God bless. Good day.